three-way valve maintenance for Planet Eclipse EMEK. First thing we need to do is remove the frame assembly. To do that, you need a 1/8 hex key. Remove the two frame screws, one inside the trigger guard, one on the back of the frame. Do those, remove the screws, place those to one side. Need those, and go back to reassembly. And what I need to do is pull down the rear of the frame and unhook the front of the frame from the front of the body. Body can now get placed to one side, as we're just going to be looking at the frame assembly. Okay, next thing we need to do is remove the grips. Pull out the clip for the rear, and then use your fingers underneath the two tabs, one on either side. The rear section hinges out and go to one side. Then I want to lift out and then pull down and round to undo the tabs at the front. They come out on both sides. I can place to one side. And then we have one more thing to remove before the three-way assembly can be accessed, and that is this pin here, brass pin. See, there's two pins. This is the trigger one. You don't want to remove this one because the trigger pin will fall out. Top one here in the middle. Push that down from the right-hand side. The pin will drop out. It should be quite nice and loose. That can be placed to one side. O-ring does nothing apart from just help hold the pin in place. And now the three-way transfer block is ready to come out. So pull from the top, and as the transfer block has come out, we have one gasket seal in the transfer block there. Then we need to remove three-way valve body from inside here. Easiest way is probably turn it upside down, give it a tap. See, it's dropped out here. Now slide out the three-way. Okay, and the frame can be placed to one side. Sometimes the gas transfer tube may come out with a three-way. Just see it here inside. That can just get pushed back down into place. That just locates into the top of the inline regulator cap. Bring it down, and then we just need to make sure we have all the relevant gaskets. Put everything down there. And come to reassemble, make sure we've got everything we need. And this is the three-way assembly. What we need to do is remove the cap off the three-way assembly, and then remove the three-way spool. That's it. There's no other parts inside there. What we're going to do is inspect it, make sure everything is nice and clean. There's no wear and tear, debris inside. You can use a Q-tip or earbud just to clean out through there if you like. We're just going to go ahead and re-grease this. Very small amount of grease again. Rotate the three-way spool around. Make sure there's a decent amount of grease on each of the three seals. Then we can reinsert that into the valve body. And we can put the cap back on. You can, if you want to, just use some pliers or adjustable spanner just to make sure the cap is nice and tight. It won't come loose in use. And the bottom, I'll start to reassemble this. The bottom seals on an O-ring from the transfer pipe. We need to build up the assembly here with gasket on top of the three-way. Then we're going to place transfer block on top of the three-way, on top of the gasket. So we made a sandwich. And finally, I'm going to put the second gasket on top. A little assembly with three-way, gasket, transfer block, another gasket, and then we're going to reassemble all of this into the frame. Good idea to point the frame forward so that the trigger pin moves into the forward position. Often easiest to push the spool into the rear position too. I can drop that assembly carefully down into the top of the frame, push it down and make sure the holes line up for the pin. drop the pin back in, everything will stay in place. At this point, what we have to pay close attention to is this gasket here. Make sure this doesn't fall out between us reassembling everything back into the frame and us attaching the body, so keep everything vertical if you can. We'll hook back into the front of the body. Then we drop the frame into place, make sure everything is lined up, and then start by putting the rear frame screw in. That's in, but don't tighten it. Front one can now go in. You can now tighten this one down into place. Tighten up the rear one. Doesn't need to be excessively tight because of the glass reinforced nylon construction does mean that it keeps everything from vibrating loose. So it doesn't have to be excessive amount of force on these screws. Don't crank it down. They're both nicely snug down. You can reassemble the grips. So put the front section on first. Clip it in at the top, push it in at the bottom. Go on to the other side, clip it in at the top, push it down at the bottom. Attach the rear section, make sure both sides are clipped over, then reattach the latch. And that is the three-way on a Planet Eclipse EMEK greased and maintained.